Hey everyone, Chris from Deadeye VR. We're here to show you our new product, the Enforcer. The Enforcer is a haptic system that works with Quest with any VR FPS games. The way the Enforcer works is whenever you pull the trigger, it signals to the Enforcer to fire depending on whatever setting you have. You could change the fire mode, the fire rate, the fire intensity, and the delay on the gun depending on how you want it to fire. The way this works is you use this knob and these 3 buttons to change the Enforcer's fire settings. When you hold down the button, the LED starts blinking and you can use the knob to change that settings value. So holding red changes your fire rate. If you hold it down and move the dial, the fire rate changes depending on where you place the dial. So if I place it here, it produces a high fire rate. But if I hold the button and turn the dial down, now the fire rate is low. Yellow changes your shot's intensity or recoil. It's a bit hard to see on video, but you can increase or decrease the setting depending on how much recoil you want. Blue changes your shot delay. Most VR FPS have some built-in shot delay, so this helps you tune your Enforcer exactly to the game. You really wouldn't think this would be important, but it does add a lot to the immersion. Lastly, for the fire mode, just click each button. Red is auto, yellow is burst, blue is single fire. They even have symbols on the side to show you which is which. I feel like it would help explain this in an in-game context. Let's say I pick up a burst fire pistol and I want to shoot at a medium speed with low intensity and a moderate fire delay. I would just hold each button down while working the knob. In real time, this is what it would look like. Or alternatively, here's an automatic rifle with high fire rate, high fire speed, and no fire delay. You might think this sounds like a hassle, but we found we didn't change settings up too much in game. Once we got them to how we like them, mostly we just changed fire modes a lot, which is why we made those easily accessible. The Enforcer is front heavy, so we included a leather wrist strap to help support it. It straps around your hand so the pistol's weight is more easily managed. So the Enforcer uses a lithium-ion battery. To access the battery chamber, turn the dial and slide the battery holder out. Then to charge the battery, just unclip it from the board and plug it into the included wall charger. The Enforcer is compatible with the Quest 2, the Quest 3, and the Quest Pro. If you're using the Quest 2 or Pro, you can just slide the controller into the slot. Because the Quest 3 controller is smaller, we included a neoprene pad and a slot for the pad in the controller cup. Just place a neoprene pad in the controller cup and it'll fit snugly. So once the controller is placed in the cup, you can pull the hammer back to hold the controller in position. The Enforcer works as a rifle stock as well. Here's how that works. So the Enforcer stock is a pretty standard rifle stock, except that the Enforcer itself replaces the right controller holder. Because of this, the recoil made by the pistol is transferred from the stock into your shoulder. So now let's talk about the stock and some of its features. The controller cup attaches to the stock with magnets, which allows quick and easy reloading. The right controller also does this, but it also has a quick release mechanism. This makes it so the controller mounts to the stock semi-permanently until you pull the lever. This lets you brace against the stock itself to allow the recoil to transfer from the pistol to the stock better. The shoulder stock on the end has an adjustable height. You could turn the thumb screw, and once it's loose, you could change the shoulder height. You can also change the angle of the front controller cup. You just loosen the front thumb screw and you can tilt it how you want. The carbon fiber shaft is a telescoping tube, which allows your controller hand positions to move forward and backwards. To adjust the front controller, first flip down the latch, and then you'll be able to move it forward and backwards. The back controller works the same way. When you get it, it won't look complete like this. We are going to have to put it together and do some assembly. First, we're going to assemble the front controller mount. Take this tilt adapter and slide it onto the small end of the tube. There's these holes. We'll just line up those holes. Then, take the small set screw and screw it in with the small Allen key. Next, we're going to attach the front magnet mount. Place the mount here and then slide the short bolt through both pieces and screw on the thumb screw to lock the tilt position. Then we'll assemble the shoulder stock. So again, we got the two holes. We're going to attach the stock clamp and screw the large set screw into the hole in the back. Then we can slide the stock into the clamp, then insert the long bolt through both pieces, then screw on the thumb screw to clamp the stock in place. With that, you can slide the stock up and down. Now we're going to attach the rear magnet mount. First, place silicone on the middle of the mount. Then place this mount on the middle section of the tube with this arrow pointing forward. Screw a socket bolt through the half collar and mount, then into the square nut. Then we repeat this on the other 3 screw holes. You'll have to play with how tight you want this part. Too tight and it'll stop the other carbon fiber tube from extending, but not tight enough and it'll rotate around. From here, you pop the enforcer in. If you purchase the non-haptic stock, your controller holder will look like this, but it'll still fit the same. If you purchase the stock only, you will need to attach the right controller cup to the magnet mount together. To do this, you just screw them together with these 2 screws. We designed these parts to be interchangeable, so if you bought an enforcer and later bought the stock, or if you bought the stock then later bought an enforcer, you can transfer this magnet mount from your normal stock cup to the enforcer by unscrewing these 2 screws and screwing them back into the enforcer with the magnet mount that came with the stock. If you bought the enforcer and stock combo, this magnet mount will come pre-attached to your enforcer like you see here, and you will have the enforcer in place of the normal stock cup. Next, you need to put neoprene pads into the front controller cup. If you have a Quest 2 or Quest Pro, you only use 1 neoprene pad. If you have a Quest 3, 3S, use both pads since the controller is a little smaller. Lastly, for the back controller cup, you need to put a neoprene pad in it if you are using a Quest 3. Just place it in the slot inside. The Quest 2 and Quest Pro do not need neoprene.